With the burger ingredient prepared, let's move on to the burger component. And I will create this in a functional form again, name the function burger, receive some props, and there again I will use curly braces so that I can also add some JavaScript logic before returning JSX. For now, all I will do there is return some JSX though, but we will revisit this component to enhance it and conditionally render something else later. For now, let's import React from React because we, use JSX. And let's export a default, the burger function, of course. Now, what is the JSX I want to export? The JSX should simply use this burger ingredient component we created, actually multiple of them. But I also want to wrap everything in a div. So here I deliberately use a div, because I want to give this wrapper, which this burger component essentially is, it's a wrapper around all the ingredients, I want to give it some styling to define the width and height of our burger. So for that, I'll add a new file, the burger.css file, and there I'll add a burger CSS class. Now I want to give this class a width of, let's say, 100% and a margin of auto, but I want to limit the height to 250 pixels. And feel free to choose a different height, of course. It's just something I think will look okay. I will set the overflow to scroll so that even if we build a bigger burger than the 250 pixels, we can simply scroll it and we don't have it overlap or cut off because we do limit the height here. If we wouldn't limit the height and we build a very big burger, it would somehow take up our entire page or more than that, and that wouldn't look great. I will also add text align center to center everything. And font weight should be bold. We don't print any text yet, but we'll do so in the future. I'll also set the font size to 1.2 rem. This simply is a unit, in case you don't know, which scales it based on the default font size the user selected. So this is the layout I want to use. It's the mobile layout though. I now want to create a media query here where I check if we have a screen width of, let's say, at minimum 1000 pixels. And that's important because the burger, of course, is built vertically. If we have a minimum height of 700 pixels, if that's the case, then my burger class will be tweaked and I won't set the width to 100% but to 700 pixels and the height to 600. I will also add another media query where I will check if the min width is 500 pixels, so a bit smaller, and if the min height is 401 pixels. And if that's the case, I want to take 450 pixels as width and 400 pixels as height. And finally, to also handle devices which are not that wide but pretty tall, put in our word in portrait mode, I want to have a media rule for a minimum width of 500 pixels but a maximum height of 400. And there I want to make sure that the width is 350 and the height is 300 pixels. So these are just some media queries to ensure that the burger looks good on as many viewports as possible. As always, feel free to tweak this to your needs if you feel like it doesn't look that good on your device. Now, enough of CSS, let's go back to the burger and let's import the CSS classes we just added, stored in that classes object thereafter. Let's import them from the burger CSS file and let's attach them to that wrapping div with class name. And there the class always is burger. The media query doesn't matter for that. Now we can start adding ingredients inside of that burger. So I will import burger ingredient from the burger ingredient folder and there the burger ingredient CSS file. And now we can simply use it as a self-closing component like that, burger ingredient. But keep in mind we have to define a type. The type can be a string. Actually, it can't be a string. It has to be a string. We implemented prop type checking. And I will start with a bread top here. So I guess it makes sense to have this at, well, the top. At the bottom, you're never going to guess it, I'll add bread bottom. And now in between, let's add 2 more ingredients, maybe some cheese, and below that, meat. Now with that, I got my burger component, which should render a burger with bread, meat, and cheese. Now let's implement this and let's simply render this burger. We're exporting it already, so now we can go to our burger builder container and there replace this dummy div with our burger. So I'll import burger from, and now we have to go up to the source level, then into components, into burger, and import burger.js, and now replace that div with our self-closing burger component. Let's save this, save everything, and let's reload the page, and you should see this burger. In case your styling is off, make sure to compare your CSS code of that component with mine. You should see that it also looks okay if you shrink and resize the page. Again, feel free to adjust the CSS to fit all possible sizes you might need. That's the burger, that's great. Not so great is that everything about this burger is in the end hard-coded. We're using components, but we're not able to change this burger dynamically, and we're not even rendering this dynamically. So let's start by managing the ingredients via state and rendering the burger dynamically in the next lectures.